Hello there, everyone. My name is Oversoul. This is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome to a special Alan Wake experience created in Fortnite in collaboration with Epic Games. This is in Fortnite, players can create mini games on the Discovery Island or whatever, and some of them are created by Epic Games themselves, the developers. Right now, you can buy an Alan Wake skin to use in Fortnite. And so part of the collaboration with that is that they also are doing this Alan Wake story called Alan Wake Flashback that is basically a recap of the first Alan Wake game. Anyways, I thought it sounded interesting, so I figured we'd give it a go whenever it finally connects here. Okay, here we go. Because Alan Wake 2 is right around the corner, and I plan on doing a live stream of that when it comes out, so... Alright, flashlight. That makes sense.
In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer, and 13 years ago, I found myself in a horror story of my own making.
Aim flashlight at the text. Okay. I am. Oh, I gotta aim it. Got it. Departure. That was the first episode of... Because remember, Alan Wake was presented episodically?
I used to live in New York City with my wife, Alice. I wrote crime novels starring a fictional detective named Alex Casey.
Wow.
It made me famous. But then I killed off Casey.
This is a true-to-life recreation of the apartment in the game. Because you remember, I think it's episode 2, when you get into episode 2, because all the levels were separated by episodes. And remember, at the beginning of each episode, it would be like, previously on Alan Wake. Well, Alan has a flashback dream in the second episode, and he's in his apartment for a little bit, and it looks exactly like this. This is a perfect recreation. They did a good job with this. Okay. Oh, these are all books that Alan Wake wrote. In fact, I think Alex Casey is the character that Max Payne is based on. What I Can't Forget, Return to Sender, The Things That I Want, The Fall of Alex Casey. Okay. Ooh. Memory time. Oh, Jesus.
What, now you can't even talk to me? I need to write something different. Something new, but nothing works. I can't take it.
Alan, you've been working on this for over 2 years. You need a break. I heard about this peaceful little town. It'll be the perfect place to clear your head.
Bright Falls. Except it wasn't the perfect place.
So Alice convinced me to visit Bright Falls.
Yeah.
A small, quiet town in Washington. Just what I needed. First, we stopped at the local diner to get our cabin key from the landlord.
Yes, the diner. So I guess we were only in the apartment, even though you don't see the apartment in Alan Wake until Chapter 2. I guess they put us there now to show the events in chronological order. Ooh, look at all that spooky darkness floating around. It's a pretty solid recreation. They did a really good job with this. I would be more impressed if it was like some regular user. Ooh, can I use that on here? No? Okay. You know, since it was the actual developers themselves that made this, it's a little less impressive, but still impressive.
As soon as I stepped in the door, the waitress, Rose, recognized me. Said she was my biggest fan, had all my books.
Yep.
After she made me promise her an autograph, I asked about the landlord. Rose said he must have gone to the restroom.
I like how they have collectible coffee thermoses in here too, just like in the actual game. Like right here. That's pretty dope. Yeah, we really screwed up this small town by coming here. The small town wasn't screwed up to begin with. It was us coming here that did it, because Alan is, well, if you remember from Control, if you played or
I
watched
checked the
Control,
back of the diner. It was dark, foreboding. The kind of place that made your skin itch. That's when Barbara Jagger appeared. An older woman in a vintage funeral gown, like something out of a 1960s horror novel. She said the landlord hadn't been able to make it and handed me the cabin key. She insisted she'd come by later to check on us and to meet Alice.
yeah, then we go to the spoopy cabin.
Alice and I drove through the majestic landscape to our cabin. The little wooden house stood alone on a tiny island near the shore of Cauldron Lake, in the bowl of an impressive caldera.
We have to make the bridge appear by shining a light on the words. That's kind of cool. But anyways, if you remember from the events of Control, it turns out that the events of Alan Wake is what's... Oh.
It's gorgeous, Alan.
It's something, all right.
Are you sure you read the directions right? It's nothing like in the brochure. It said near the lake, not on it.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
But yeah, the events of Alan Wake are what's known as an altered world event. And I'm just trying to see if there's any coffee thermoses over here, just like the actual game. See, there might be one. Aha, you see? You see? Did I grab the one in the diner? I think I did. But anywho, yeah. The events of Alan Wake is what's known as an altered world event, which is where weird, spooky, paranormal stuff happens. And Alan's typewriter is what's known as an object of power, a paranormal object that, you know, breaks the laws of reality and shit. So anything he types on his typewriter comes to be. That's the reason all this actually happens here.
Alan! I'm upstairs.
But there's more complications to it, because obviously he has a and the Dr. Emil Hartman, Dr. Hartman is the doctor that sees him, because if I remember correctly, it turns out that the whole reason they came here was because his wife reached out to Dr. Hartman because she was worried about Alan's mental state, and she wanted him to meet with him because he was all stressed out from his writing and stuff. So this whole thing was a trick. But of course the tables got turned because she disappeared, and Alan wakes up trapped inside a story that he doesn't remember writing. So, and also apparently the lake is like a dimension to another world or something, like a portal to another dimension or something like that, which is where Alan gets trapped at the end of the game. He gets trapped in the dark place and replaced by a dark doppelganger of himself in the real world.
Surprise!
Alice, what is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of
Damn it,
scenery would
Alice,
get
you-
past.
Everyone keeps...
Hey, just hear me out.
Should have never brought that
There's a local
typewriter.
doctor, Dr.
That's what
Hartman,
started all
right up
this.
the pits. He has a private clinic here. He
So
specializes
now
in
you want to
helping
get me
artists.
committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not. Alan? Alan?
Don't! Just don't! I don't want to hear it!
Also, if I remember correctly, the FBI guy Nightingale that is so like obsessed with killing Alan in the game, chasing after him, you have to escape the cops in chapter 3 and all that. I think he was sent by the bureau, the Federal Bureau of Control. I think he was sent by them.
When
In
I came
fact,
to, I was behind the wheel of a crash car on a forest road. I felt like I had woken up from one nightmare only to find myself in another. I remember diving in after Alice. So how was I here?
It's where the monsters, the shadow people start coming out. This is the part where the story that Alan wrote that he doesn't remember writing starts to come alive and affects the small town of Bright Falls. I remember him telling Barry what happened, and Barry's like, nah, man, you're fucking nuts, bro. Ain't no way that shit real. And then all of a sudden, it's real. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, you're not crazy, it's real.
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I'd planned to use for the next novel I'd never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it.
Okay.
Departure by Alan Wake.
Oh, okay, there's pages to collect here as well. Got it. Whee! Jump. Whee! Jump. Do I get to shoot shadow people in this too? Because that'll be cool.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter. I found a page of writing, but it made no sense. A fragment of some demented horror story.
Whee! Whee! Definitely jump a lot higher than Alan himself in the actual game. Whee! It's just so weird to see this. Oh, God. What was that? I was gonna say, it's just so weird to see this all recreated with Fortnite mechanics. Oh, here's another page.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery.
All right, then. Memory time. Heh, that bulldozer, man. I remember fighting that thing.
I realized that the shadowy figure was the character from the page I just found.
Oh,
Taken.
Stucky.
A man taken over by a creature of supernatural darkness called the Dark Presence.
And it only exists because you wrote it into existence with your magic-ass typewriter. Alan, you did this, and you don't even know you did it. That sucks. Imagine being in that situation. I love how Stephen King inspired Alan Wake is. Whoa, hey. I can't see. What happened? It glitched out on me. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I don't know what the hell that was, but I was worried for a second I was going to have to start this over. Alright, let's not... How about we stop looking around in the darkness and just stick to the main path, I guess. It's the game's way of telling me... Oh, I died. Sure, why not? Oh, fuck! God damn it! Can I double jump or something? What am I not doing right here? How do I sprint? It's been so long since I've played Fortnite, I forgot the controls. Okay. Oh, one of those random TVs. Night Springs?
I'll keep writing.
Oh.
Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
So, I guess...
Come to realize the lake does something to works of art created here. It lifts the story from the page and gives it form. turns fiction into terrible truth. The manuscript was becoming real.
I guess it's worth mentioning that even though the original Alan Wake, the Xbox 360 exclusive, was developed by Remedy and published by Microsoft Studios, because it was an Xbox game, the remaster of Alan Wake that was available on all platforms was developed by a new team called D3T that sometimes do remasters or whatever, and it was co-published by Remedy and Epic Games. So, Epic Games is also the developers behind Fortnite, and they have their own PC gaming launcher, the Epic Game Store, and all that, right? So, the thing is, that would explain this collaboration here. Not only can you get an Alan Wake skin in Fortnite right now, but that's nothing new because you can get skins for all kinds of crap that they just buy the licensing rights to or whatever. But I'm just being a completionist here. I just want to, make sure I get all that. See. Okay.
I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. You're a patient in my clinic. Have been for a while now.
Bah humbug, says I. But yeah, and so I think Alan Wake 2 is also being published by Epic Games along with Remedy. In fact, I think if you buy Alan Wake 2 on the Epic Games Store, you automatically get the Alan Wake skin in Fortnite. So this is an official licensed collaboration here. Like this isn't some fan project. What we're playing right now, this is official. Official crossover. Just like Alan Wake and Control.
Alan.
Hartman? I fell. What? No, you. I found myself stuck in Cauldron Lake Lodge, Dr. Hartman's clinic. He tried to convince me I was a patient of his, that I had imagined everything. I knew he was lying. Soon enough, his true colors would be revealed.
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
The pages I'd been carrying with me were gone. I needed them back. They were the key to finding Alice, to understanding this mystery.
Oh God. That almost made me jump a little. Okay, so I see we're just gonna be doing this. Alright.
The Dark Presence followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction to the next. When the story reached the end it longed for, it would finally be free.
Ooh, spooky. But we won't let that happen. No siree, Boba Fett. Just making sure there's nothing else up here. This might be an in Fortnite project, but clearly there's collectibles akin to the main game. I'll be with you momentarily. Big area like this down here, there's bound to be something. Aha, you see, I can't jump right now. That's weird. Ooh, I almost found all the flasks. God, these recreations of areas from Alan Wake are so faithful and so well done. They had to have worked with Remedy on this. They had to have. I think the voice actors might even be the same. What you got there, alley boy?
I broke into Hartman's office to learn the truth. The manuscript pages were on his desk, the ones I had found and more. I confronted him, furious. He admitted he had been lying and tried to cut a deal with me. He was still trying to manipulate me, to use my writing for his own ends and to make the Dark Presence stronger in doing so.
Ooh. Yes, I remember all of that. I also remember Thor and Odin of the Old Gods of Asgard being here. The Old Gods of Asgard, of course, being a fictional band in the Remedyverse played by the real-life band Poets of the Fall. And both Poets of the Fall and Old Gods of Asgard fucking slap.
I dreamt of the night Alice went missing. Her screams rang in the stillness of the night. I saw myself run toward the cabin, flashlight in my hand. I followed my past self. I was an out-of-body observer, a time traveler in a crazy dream. This was the beginning. The night Alice had disappeared. The mystery of what had happened during the missing week was about to reveal itself.
That's right, because he woke up a week later after the incident at the cabin with no memory of what happened. And no memory of writing the story in the first place. Ooh, are we in first person now? Oh, you want to get that? You want to do that kind of thing, huh?
Alice! Alice!
In a dream, I found myself back at the cabin, just like the manuscript described. It felt like I was reliving a suppressed memory, a waking nightmare. This was my chance to find out what had happened to Alice.
Well, he said find out what happened to Alice, and the screen says find out what happened to Alan. Again, I'm just looking over here. I guess since I already got that one, it wouldn't be here again. Since it's just a repeated location. It's not like it was newly loaded in. Well, maybe it was. Who knows? Why did it switch to first person all of a sudden for this part, though? I don't understand that. I mean, it's cool, but why?
I remembered it all now. In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure.
Yes.
Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Yes. All right. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. Under the influence of the Dark Presence, I'd written a horror story, and now my own words were tearing my world apart. It was using my story to grow stronger, to spread its darkness. But somehow some part of me had been aware enough to write my own escape into the story, a way back to Cauldron Lake, to Alice.
It's crazy to think, though, when you look at Control and consider it canonical, because it is, that Alan Wake's the events of Alan Wake is just one altered world event. I would love to see a bigger expanded Remedyverse. Like, I'm glad we're getting a sequel to Alan Wake 2, but I want to see an expanded Remedyverse where we get to see or play through the events, like, even if it was just like movies and TV shows as well. I would be okay with that. It doesn't have to all be video games, but give me more media in the Remedyverse that shows the other stories that they talk about in Control, because Control is the centerpiece of all of it, and a lot of those objects of power that we saw in there, and some of those stories that we heard from documents we picked up and audio files and stuff, I want to see those. Hell, I'll even take a prequel to Control with the events that happened in Jesse's Town of Ordinary with that projector. You know? Just like, I want to see more altered world events, is what I'm saying. I want to see more game. Alan Wake was an entire game centered on one altered world event. I want to, and Control is a game about the Bureau that investigates those events. So it stands to reason that there should be. I mean, you could stretch it and consider Quantum Break an altered world event, but it's loosely canon, if anything. You know. Plus, it has different outcomes depending on choices you make, so it's hard to really fit it in anywhere solidly. But um, I want to see more games focused on, or even movies or shows focused on other altered world events. You know, and it's not beyond the scope of reality for Remedy to do live action stuff because Quantum Break has a live action TV series that goes along with it that's literally part of the game. Whenever you finish an episode in the game, an episode of the TV show plays, and the events of the TV show change depending on the choices you make in the game. So that'd be cool.
The story I had written in the cabin had come true. Touched by the dark presence, I'd written a horror story, but the end was still missing. The story was incomplete, and the last unfinished page of the manuscript still sat in the typewriter in the cabin study. If I could get back there, if I could read the page, then I could write my own ending to this story and save Alice.
Which means the last page that we need for the collectible is in there. Did we get all the coffee thermoses? I'm not sure if we did. I can't remember if the last one I grabbed was 5 of 6 or 6 of 6. But if we didn't get them, I think it's too late now.
Jagger was waiting for me, but I wasn't afraid. I had light on my side. I was ready. I fought Jagger with the light, shattered the darkness inside her.
He
She was
straight
gone.
up...
But this was a horror story, and the ending had not yet been written.
That's right, he straight up stuck the flashlight inside her.
There would be a price to pay.
And the price is that you get trapped in the dark world, and your evil doppelganger takes your place in the real world. We saw that in the Alan Wake expansion in Control. Also, we got to see the fate of Dr. Hartman in that expansion as well. He turned into a giant monster, and we had to fight him in Control, remember? Basically, the Dark Place spat Alice out and took Alan in her place. Did like the whole Hades from Hercules thing. Okay, I'll bring her back to life, but you must take her place. Really, though, 2 prices were to be paid because of the whole evil doppelganger thing on top of Alan being stuck in the dark place.
There's light and there's darkness, cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price.
Indeed. And Alan Wake 2 is gonna be all about Alan trying
Alice
to get
was
out
safe,
of the dark place.
But the balance had to be kept. I'd taken her place, a small price to pay. Now I was trapped here, in the dark place, outside reality.
Yes. In an Alan Wake 2, we'll be playing as Alan in the dark place trying to get out, but we'll also be playing as this new detective whose name I already forgot. I already forgot her name. It's not a very common name, it's like very uncommon. But we'll be playing as her in the real world looking into the disappearance of Alan and the mysteries of the doppelganger. So we'll be playing as 2 characters in the sequel, doing 2 different stories running simultaneously that eventually will come together.
If I wanted to escape, I would have to start writing again. A new story. A sequel to Departure. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. Return by Alan Wake.
Yep. And then, of course, there was the DLC, the Signal and the Writer, but I don't think this is going to cover those. I would argue they weren't that. I mean, they were important to the overall narrative, but not necessarily necessary viewing to go into Alan Wake 2.
Dark presence is out there. It's hunting me. Its spies are always watching. It's trying to catch me. I think it did more than once. It's stealing from me. Stealing my identity. It wants to be me. Replace me. Twisted version of me. Scratch. Mr. Scratch.
That's right, he called him Mr.
Slithering
Scratch.
into the story. Once it's in the story, I have to use it to keep the story true. It got in. I have to make the story darker now. But that gives it power. That's bad. I don't want that. But I have no choice. It's an arms race. All right, now keep it together. Damn it. I'll be the first one to cross the finish line.
To be continued in Alan Wake 2. Yeah, that's basically that last part right there is kind of leading into that. Yay! We did the thing. Cool. I got no points because it wasn't an actual thing. But anyways, that was the Alan Wake flashback recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to me doing when Alan Wake 2 comes out. I heard that it's going to be a longer game, so I'm going to do a live stream of that one, I think we're going to do a live stream of Alan Wake 2. Plus, it's been a while since I've done a live stream, so that'll give me a good excuse to do one. So anyways, that'll be it for this video. I'm looking forward to Alan Wake 2, and I hope you are too. Let me know your thoughts on this little interactive recap experience in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button, and as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you possibly at another day, definitely at another time, and likely at another video. Okay, goodbye.